Hi everybody, it's Monica Frenden. I'm the Maddie's Director of Feline Lifesaving at American Pets Live, and I wanted to take just a few minutes today to talk to you about the recent post you may have seen come out from the University of Wisconsin at Madison about limiting non-essential surgeries during the COVID-19 pandemic. I know a lot of you are really worried about getting your spay-neuter surgeries done, as well as other surgeries that we all have going on in our medical clinics right now, and how we're going to get those accomplished during the pandemic. So if you haven't seen the post yet from UW Wisconsin at Madison, I'm going to post it for the comments in the comments for this in just a second here, but I want to take a little bit of time to talk about them today. So basically what the post is about is the U.S. Surgeon General came out and recommended that veterinarians and dentists and some other folks limit or eliminate all non-essential surgeries right now. And there's several reasons that they're doing this, but important to remember that spay-neuter surgeries might be considered non-essential for your organization right now. They're doing this for a few reasons. AMPA made this recommendation a couple weeks ago. It's in line with the NACA recommendations right now. We need to preserve PPE, right? We all get that at this point. So we need to be conserving our gloves and face masks for essential operations only. I'm looking at it from a perspective too, especially where cats are concerned in your TNR clinics, that this is a non-essential, non-emergency service right now. As important as TNR is to Lifesaving, it's a non-emergency service. Those cats are okay in their community homes right now. Bringing them in actually poses a big risk to the cats right now, but more importantly to your clinic and to the humans that might be coming in there. So if you're running a TNR clinic right now, you may have 30 or 100 or more people coming in, bringing trapped cats in. That's way too much foot traffic for your clinic to be having right now, given the social distancing recommendations that we're all under. If your clinic goes down, this is my big concern. If someone in your clinic gets infected or has to be quarantined and you've now lost a DVM, your techs, your medical folks, we're all going to be, in a really, really bad spot if that happens. And so we need to kind of limit the exposure to our medical clinics so that the medical personnel that we do have on staff is able to treat emergency animals, those who we have to take in who need emergency care and emergency treatment. And so what the post yesterday from UW-Madison really did in good detail was explain 4 or 5 big reasons why we're recommending that we limit surgeries to non-essential, or limit them to essential surgeries only, but clarify that spay-neuter may not be an essential surgery for you right now. What you can do, I know a lot of you are working under state guidelines or local municipality guidelines that say you cannot allow an animal to go home who is intact. They have to be spayed or neutered before you can get rid of them, get them out to adoption. And so a lot of you are worried about how are we still going to move animals through right now if we can't get them spayed and neutered. And so there's a couple ways that you can go about doing this. First of all, you can look at a voucher system. If you're using private clinics to do your spay and neuter for you, can you issue a voucher so that the owner can go back and get his cat or dog spayed or neutered once services resume? What might be even easier, because you can implement this yourself at your own organization, is to do a pre-adoption system or a foster to adoption where you still own the animal until it is spayed and neutered. So again, it's still under your care, and you'd still be in line with your local regulations if you have something in place that says you can't let an animal be adopted until it's spayed or neutered. So if you are an organization that needs guidance on working out a pre-adoption system or a foster to adopt system, American Pets Alive has those resources available for you on the COVID-19 preparedness guide page, and I will link to that in this post as well. But I wanted to talk a second too about cats, and I know a lot of people are getting very worried that everyone is recommending that we pause TNR services right now. I know you're all worried about what kitten intake may look this time of year, so I want to take a minute to talk about that and talk about cats as well while I have you, because I'm the cat person, so I'm going to do that. I know a lot of you are worried that if we pause TNR, we're going to see a huge spike in intake in the coming months, and I want everybody to kind of keep in mind that we know statistically, we know from a numbers game that TNR is a long game. It takes a long time to see results. If we're doing it the way that most of us are doing TNR, it takes a long time to see that reduction in intake come. So I think it's okay that you right now say we're going to pause on TNR because it's for the greater good, right? And don't panic about incoming intake, what it might look like. The reality is I think we know that this is not going to be over overnight. And so you're likely not going to have this wealth of kittens coming in the next couple of months anyway. I don't think you have a choice right now either is where we're at. U.S. Surgeon General has put these restrictions in place. There are some municipalities where local government has said to the spay-neuter clinic, you are closed whether you want to be or not. So it's something that I think you should get in front of now and be as proactive as you can instead of reactionary, knowing that the spay-neuter clinic is going to close, probably very quickly if it's not, and to limit your medical staff's exposure so that you can still treat emergency animals as they come in. The other thing I want to talk about is how our intake is actually down right now because most of us are limiting public access. We're only taking in emergency animals in line with the NACA recommendations and how that impacts cats. So if your organization has not yet embraced Return to Field, RTF, or Shelter Neuter Return, SNR, and if you are now going through COVID preparedness and you're only taking in emergency cats, this is a really good time to kind of make lemonade out of lemons, if you will. If you haven't yet embraced SNR as the way to manage cats, then this might be a really good opportunity for you to run with it. So maybe we never again take in healthy free roaming cats. We SNR them, we return them to field instead of taking them in and sheltering them. So we know that SNR is best practices now. We know that we shouldn't just automatically go out and kidnap healthy free roaming cats, right? We know that. So if your community has not yet embraced that, this is the time to do it. You can say, listen, we shut down intake to non-emergency cats during COVID, and maybe we don't need to go back to that. We saw how well that worked. So again, I'm going to post the link to that UW-Madison article in the comments, and if you have any other comments for me on cats, I will be on Facebook until 9 o'clock Central Time tonight, and I'm happy to answer you. Thank you all so much for your hard work.